everyone, welcome back to your Whiteboard Wednesday quantum teaching. This week we are going to be talking about the wave-particle duality. And so if you have not seen any of the other topics, parallel realities, dimensions, timeline basics 101, as well as some other deeply rooted physics-based concepts regarding quantum theory, definitely check them out. This is just about 15 minutes or so because it's on YouTube and Instagram of this teaching. And so while I'm not a physicist and a scientist, I have 10 plus years of healthcare experience. And of course, being a psychic medium, this is what I have been guided in 2024 to do every week, to teach different aspects. So you want to stick around for the month of May, because this month we are going to be talking about other aspects of quantum mechanics, quantum mysticism, collective consciousness, is time an illusion, and so on. If you haven't seen last week's video, I highly recommend, because it's almost a precursor to today's topic. Last week we talked about quantum mechanics in general and kind of what it means, and the wave-particle duality is an aspect of that. How light can act in a sense of waves, but so can particles. And so how can that be? I want you guys to pay attention to something really quickly, and I just noticed this right before I hopped on the video. I have two doors closed right now. The bathroom door, which is kind of behind this wall, and my bedroom, which is this wall right here. Both doors are closed. I have no other windows except the one in front of me here, and then a corner window where my cat Cloud's little spot is. This is literally like a little slip of a window. So the window is facing the wall. It's not facing the other wall. And what's very interesting, again, I noticed this right before the video, is there's a reflection of light coming right there. Now I do have a mirror over here, but the mirror is not facing this window. And so somehow the light from this window, because there's no other windows back there, the doors are closed, is refracting to the mirror. So very interesting how this works, how light is able to emit a wave in a sense and a presence. And so part of what these teachings are is to connect the dots between the things unseen and the things seen and known, the logic and the mysticism of it all, right? A lot of that comes with what many refer to as quantum woo-woo. It's this aspect of hypothesis and testing that basically suggests that there's more to understand of creation. So there was an experiment of the wave-particle duality. We're going to talk about the science aspect of this first and then get into the spiritual connection so it all makes sense. So the experiment, I forget who created it, but it's basically a physicist from the 1800s. This was before Einstein, who tested light. Can light move in particles, right? And so basically what they did was they sent out a light in front of a wall that had these slits in it. And so basically the light ended up refracting. You have a wall with slits and another wall. And as the light was emitted through the wall with the slits, the light ended up actually going through the slits and presenting a wave-like energy. And as the time had passed, what they found, the scientists who were doing this experiment, found that the light was not only creating waves, but it was also distributing these wave-like points within the second wall, almost like a bunch of dots. And so they tried to test this not only with light, but with photons which light photon machines are an aspect of using light, right? But they tried to test it with particles using a photon particle machine. And it did the same thing. The particles, which are sort of almost subatomic at the atomic level, ended up emitting a wave-like frequency. And so what the wave-particle duality is sort of suggestive of in quantum mechanics, and why it's important, is that there's a traveling of light. Light is able to travel and move and refract in ways that are unique to creation, that cannot always be identifiable with the common logical sense. And there was another experiment that was actually done where they took 4 blind men and basically had them touch an elephant. And every blind guy said a different thing about the elephant. One said that they felt a snake. The other said that they felt an elephant. Another said that they felt a completely different animal, a giraffe. And so every single person said that they felt a different aspect of the elephant. They had no idea it was an elephant. Light is almost unseen in a sense. So this is why the experiment was crucial to use blind men with, to test that theory of what is coming through. And they all received different perceptions about what they were touching, even though it was the same animal. Duality, what do we know that definition to be? That it holds a consistency of various perceptions of different sides. And when we look at duality in the 3D world, we in the spiritual community might associate it in a negative way, which in the sense of one side of the coin, there is that negative aspect, right? Where duality creates these wave-like ripples in the collective in a logical or metaphorical sense, if you will, where when we are picking sides, there tends to be a ripple in the collective consciousness. There tends to be this dichotomy in belief and perception, Republican, Democratic, right and left. But then when we look at the other side of the coin, how does duality benefit humanity's collective consciousness and evolution and our soul growth, right? Because when we are in a world where there is some sort of duality, we start to understand how the differences are actually making us all the same, how we're all one, how we are all connected. What I am describing is only a mustard seed, if you will, that just came through, a mustard seed of the entirety of the wave-like particle and duality. And really the science aspect of studying wave-particle duality is to understand how light travels, how it's possible that two doors can be closed and there's light from a window that's facing the wall is somehow refracting into the mirror to emit the light right there. No other windows in my kitchen, right? It's obviously dark. And so how is this possible? How can light move in this way? If we know that light moves in waves, what we have to understand is that every single human being, whether they are cruel or not, carries a light frequency. We have energy bodies, multiple auric layers that emit light, that sends energy that kind of helps to connect and almost manipulate and maneuver our experience on Earth. And so the wave-particle duality, while it's specifically referenced to the minute aspect of science here in physics of how light is able to refract. If you have a prism and you put light on it, it's able to refract. If you take your phone while the sun is shining through your window, you're going to see refraction in the wall. And as you move your phone around, that refraction is going to grow and shrink. And so it's very much about the study of immediate light attention, right? How does light and particles able to emit the waves, and why is that important? Because of the creation of technologies that are used in the medical industry today, for example, CT scans, MRIs, etc. But also when we talk about the spiritual component of it, and this is why, again, it's so heavily studied with things like the Hadron Collider, with mechanisms and tools that are technologies that are being developed by Elon Musk. And this is something that I will continue to bring up in every video as a reminder of this, because there's a powerful aspect of our creation, the infinite light source that we are. And so we are constantly emitting energy frequencies, wave-like particles into the environment. Previous videos I have talked about how it's like a spider web effect, or like how billionaires always say you become the 5 people that you're around the most. Whenever you hang around a group of people and they're doing certain habits, you start to pick up certain aspects of those habits or those habits itself. And so this is how energy and light works. Us being light beings, literally proven by science, emitting light, having multiple auric layers is significant of this. We are sending waves into the Earth experience, into the 3D matrix that is manipulating, and I use that word very lightly, maneuvering, if you will, like a steering wheel, the environment around us. And we start to see the power of things like the law of attraction, or how our thoughts are manifesting. And the higher your consciousness is, the more open and accepting you are to receiving, the more you have learned those lessons, those soul lessons of what needs to heal generationally, or what you need to let go of, your shadows, your ego, things that aren't serving you in your life, materialism, etc., etc. Your consciousness starts to grow. And so then you start to see evidence in your 3D world, which I think many of you guys who might be coming across this video will start to see evidence of this, actually show that on the outside, actually show how your energy, your light, your auric field, in other words, is emitting this maneuvering aspect of your experience. And quickly you will realize that your thoughts within a few hours are beginning to manifest. There is an aspect of it that is very prevalent in us being walking light bodies. And even people who are truly murderous, evil, causing the worst harm on this planet still carry a light frequency. And that's why there's still those people around the earth. It's not just for our lessons. They're still carrying a light light-based frequency, even if they are pure darkness, that they are also emitting waves into the collective consciousness. And then maybe this might be another study, right? There was a physicist that I saw on YouTube who had been studying fuzzy dark matter, is the way she described it, and how light emitting through fuzzy dark matter would manipulate the way that the dark matter moves. So this is true, right? Like, a room that is dark cannot exist without light, okay? And the light cannot exist without the dark. And this is something that you will find on this journey. Like, we cannot evolve without having the other side of the coin. The wave particle duality teaches us this. It teaches us that duality, although harmful, and this is all perception based, right? And experience based. And if you know, you know, those of you will know what I'm talking about, is essentially maneuvering this energy where we start to see how our experience, our perceptions, the way our consciousness is operating is switching up the way that our environment on the external plays. And so when the light, our light, is emitting through these different aspects of our journey, right? There's these slits that are representative in the wall, that are representative of opportunities, doors in our experience. And as we are going through life and we are emitting, walking through these doors, emitting our light, even if we are unconscious of it, we are still creating waves. Our energy, which is always a part of us in this experience, is emitting waves into the 3D world around us. And so that is why you will come across people that have similar stories to you when you're out and about, things that are synchronicities, or maybe some people will say coincidences. So I know that this was super maybe woo-woo for some of you out there that might be tuning into this video, but part of my mission is creating the bridge between the science and the spiritual, the logic and the unseen. And this is what quantum mechanics is in its entirety. It is the unseen. And how can we understand the universe and creation more from that? So I hope that this video brought you value. Please stick around for the rest of May's videos. And until next time, collective, go and grow.